Hello friends, welcome to the daily answer writing session with Santosh sir. In today's answer writing session, I will pick one of the questions from the daily practice sheet and I will help you to learn what should be your approach towards answer writing in one of the questions. Okay guys, so yesterday was 26th of November. 26th of November is also celebrated as the Constitution Day. So I have framed few questions on the topic of constitution. Constitution, you all know that it's a very important topic in your polity section, and you should have a complete understanding of the idea of constitution. So let us pick one question. So I will pick this question number 4 because it's a very important question. Okay, it can come in your UPSC exam also. Many a times this concept has been asked in the prelims. Okay, so differentiate between the constitution and constitutionalism. Is constitutionalism in India a myth? Okay, so it's a 10 marker question. It's a 10 marker question. So you have to be very focused, okay, in your, okay, answer writing. Okay, so let us try to see how we should write the answer. So what I am going to do, I am going to break the question. I am going to structure the question, and I will also explain you how to basically write a very beautiful answer to this question. Okay, so it says that differentiate between constitution and constitutionalism. Okay, so what should be a good introduction to this question? Okay, the good introduction should be that generally, okay, people, we'll say that generally people confuse, okay, people confuse constitutionalism with constitution, but there is a fine difference between them. Okay, so you see, I have set the context. I have set the context that although people think that constitution and constitutionalism means the same, but there is a difference. And whenever you get a question on difference, best way is to write in a table format. You can write here constitutionalism, and here you can write constitution. Okay, constitution. So constitutionalism is what? It's a philosophy. It's a philosophy. It's an idea. Okay. Whereas constitution, what is constitution? Constitution is a law, is a legal document. Constitution is a law. Okay. Although it's a fundamental law, but it's a law. Okay. But constitutionalism is a philosophy. What is the meaning of constitutionalism? What does the constitutionalism philosophy stands for? So you can say that constitutionalism, it stands for limited government. Okay, it stands for limited government. Basically means government with powers, limited powers. Government with limited powers. It abhors, okay, it abhors absolutism. Okay, it abhors absolutism. Okay, whereas constitution, okay, it is the fundamental. It's a fundamental law which governs the government. Okay, so constitution is a law to govern the government. I repeat myself, constitution is a law to govern the government. Okay, so that is the basic idea. Okay, that is the basic idea of constitution. We need a law to govern the government. Okay, so these are the two differences what we will write. Then what we can write is that we can change the paragraph, and we can say that, okay, that we can have constitutionalism without constitution. Okay, we can have constitutionalism without constitution. For example, Britain does not have written constitution, but it has constitutionalism. Okay, on the other hand, we can also have a constitution but not constitutionalism. Okay, we can have a country where there is a constitution but there is no constitutionalism. For example, okay, dictatorial regimes, they have constitution. Many of the African countries where there is dictatorship, they have a constitution but they do not have constitutionalism. So what I have done, you see here, what I have done, I have given the context then I have differentiated, and then I have given a brief context, okay, that what is the relation between constitution and constitutionalism. To have constitutionalism, you can have constitution, and you cannot have a constitution also. Without a written constitution also you can have constitutionalism. Why? Because constitutionalism is about principles. Okay, you can say like this, constitutionalism, you can write like this, constitutionalism, okay, principles, okay, we can write like this, principles of, just one second, we can write like this, okay, let me change the pen, okay, principles of constitutionalism. Okay, my handwriting is a little bit bad because I'm writing very fast, okay, so please bear with that. So what are the principles of constitutionalism? Principles of constitutionalism, okay, is basically, okay, democracy, of law, separation of power, okay, then we have we have independent judiciary, okay, we have we have judicial review, okay, we have media, free media, okay. So if you see all these principles, what do they, of constitutionalism, what do they achieve? They achieve the goal of constitutionalism. And what is the goal of constitutionalism? The goal of constitutionalism is limited government. The power of the government must be limited. You see, democracy, when we have democracy, okay, so government can be voted out also, okay, so it limits the power of the government. Similarly, rule of law also limits the power of the government. Separation of power, it limits the power of the government. The government is divided into various organs, and each organ cannot do more than what is the goal of that organ, okay. Then judicial review, because there will be a review of all the decisions taken by the executive and judiciary and the legislature, okay, so it also limits the power of the government. Now we will write the second part of the answer, okay, constitutionalism in India, okay. So here we will write reality, that it is a reality. Here we will write it is a myth, okay. So what is the reality? Yes, we have separation of power, okay, we have separation of power or not? In constitutionalism we have a separation of power in India. In our constitution we have separation of power, we have legislature, we have executive, we have judiciary, okay. Second, we have a democracy, and we have election commission for holding free and fair election, okay. So we can say that India has a constitutionalism. We have an independent judiciary, we have judicial review, we have here one more principle of constitutional we can talk about is the fundamental right. Fundamental right is also a principle of constitutionalism, because constitution is about limitation on the power of the government, and fundamental right is the best limitation on the power of government, okay. So we have fundamental right also, part 3 of the constitution, okay. Then we have free media, okay. So we have all the features of a constitutionalism in our constitution. So we can say that constitutionalism in India is a reality, but everything is not very good, okay. So what we can say that there are some problems in separation of power. We have sometimes judicial overreach, okay. So it creates some strains, okay, between the judiciary and executive. We have some friction, okay. Then we have, okay, money power in election, okay, okay. Even the election commission has realized this and recognized this. We have ADR reports, criminalization of politics, okay. Next what we can say that yes, we have fundamental rights, but enforcement of fundamental rights, okay, article 21, okay, sometimes, okay, there is criticism that, okay, in reality how far fundamental rights are a reality in India, okay. We can like right to food, right to many fundamental rights are there. If we see reality, okay, many people are struggling, okay. So we can say that, okay. Then we can say what all we can say that, okay, access to justice is very tough. Access to justice is not very easy, okay. We have very slow judiciary, pendency of cases is very high, okay. So there are some challenges. Everything, okay, we have a very good structure. We have separation of power, we have independence of judiciary, we have judicial review, we have fundamental rights, we have free media, we have everything. But at the same time, everything is not very good. Okay, you see parliament. Okay, what is the productivity of parliament? Disruptions in parliament, disruptions in parliament. Okay, then we have, okay, corruption in administration, corruption in administration. Okay, so we cannot say that it's a complete constitutionalism in India is complete reality. We'll say the positives, we'll write the negative. In the end, what we'll write a conclusion, we'll write that to sum up. Okay, to sum up, we can say that constitutionalism in India is not a complete myth, nor it is a complete reality. We need reforms. We need reforms, okay, in judiciary, executive, and administration to bring the values of constitution in reality. Okay, so you see how I have approached the question. Okay, the question was differentiate between constitution and constitutionalism. Is constitutionalism in India a myth? You see how I have first given a good introduction where I have said that generally both are confused to be the same, but they are not the same. Then I have differentiated between constitutionalism and constitution, where I have said that constitutionalism is a philosophy of limited government, whereas constitution is a legal law, fundamental law to govern the government. Okay, the entire structure of the government is basically defined in the constitution. Okay, then what I have done is that I have shown the relationship between constitution and constitutionalism, that to achieve constitutionalism, constitution is a vehicle to achieve constitutionalism. Constitutionalism is an objective. Okay, it's an objective to achieve, and constitution is a means to achieve that. But we can achieve that without a written constitution also. For example, Britain does not have a written constitution, but it has constitutionalism. This means what? Constitutionalism are like principles. Constitutionalism is a like a galaxy of principles which helps to limit the power of the government, such as democracy, rule of law, separation of power, independence of judiciary, judicial review, free media, fundamental rights. And the idea of these principles is to limit the power of the government. And then the third part of the question, which is constitutionalism in India, a reality or a myth. So I have given both, why it is a reality and why it is a myth. And in the end, we have to sum up and we have to come up with some suggestions how this complete reality, which is not there, how it can be achieved, a complete reality, through reforms in judiciary, through reforms in parliament, through reforms in executive. So I hope you have liked this session. Give me a thumbs up and let me know if you want me to continue these sessions. Okay, and the paper format was good or this format was good. Okay, you also share this, because if the paper format was good where I was writing everything, okay, in the paper, I can do that also. Or if this format is good, okay, where I'm explaining more on explanation, my focus is, if you want this, I can continue with this. Thank you friends. Bye bye. Take care.